Grey's Anatomy and how the actors hid their pregnancies. Her first pregnancy was hidden when she gave half of her liver to her dad and had to be in a hospital bed for most of season 4. Her other 2 pregnancies were written to the show when Derek and her had Bailey and Ellie. When April got pregnant with Harriet, she was actually pregnant in real life and they decided to write it into the show. Arizona Robbins, in real life, she was pregnant during season 12 and they just hid it with baggy clothing and shooting above her belly. Jo Wilson was pregnant during all of season 16 and instead of writing into the show, they just decided baggy clothing and shooting above the waist as well. Miranda Bailey got pregnant with her 3rd child in real life and they decided to write it into the show in season 2 when she had her baby with Tucker.
Don't quite know. I guess I'm just a play date to you. I'm just 16. Wait, what? I'm just 16. Oh my god, are you serious? I'm just 16. Wait, that can't be true.
Ranking Grey's Anatomy deaths from the least depressing to the ones that made me contemplate suicide. The least depressing is Paul. He should have died way more violently. Next up we have Reed. All I can say about this one is thank you, Gary Clark. Next is Dylan Young. He didn't do anything wrong, but we only knew him for an episode and then he blew up, so. Next is Craig Thomas. I loved how he treated Christina and the friendship that they had, but I just wasn't that sad when he died. Next is Brooks, and she's a little higher up on this list because I felt really bad for Shane. Next is Susan Gray. Her death was the first time that we really saw any emotion out of Meredith, so that kind of fucked me up. Henry, poor Teddy, poor Christina. If you didn't cry when Charles said you've always been my favorite doctor to Bailey and then died, what's wrong with you? Denny Duquette, I miss you, baby. Adele Weber is the reason why I can no longer listen to My Funny Valentine. Next is Ellis because of the afterlife scene. Starting top 3 is good old 007. Mark and Lexi tied for 2nd. I still don't forgive you, Shonda Rhimes. Fuck you, Shonda.
And well, cause you did what you said. Jason Derulo. That is all for the best, because it is. I was so wrong for so long.
Then when my pants are held up by my belt, it's belt time, 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 belt. It's time for belt.
I have 5 rules, memorize them. Rule number 1, don't bother sucking up. I already hate you, that's not gonna change. Trauma protocols, phone list pages. Nurses will page you. You will answer every page at a run. That's rule number 2. Your first shift starts now and lasts 48 hours. Your interns, grunts, nobodies, bottom of the surgical food chain. You run labs, write orders, work every second night till you drop and don't complain. On-call rooms. Attendings hog them, sleep when you can, where you can. Which brings me to rule number 3. If I'm sleeping, don't wake me unless your patient is actually dying. Rule number 4, the dying patient better not be dead when I get there. Not only would you have killed someone, you would have woke me for no good reason. We clear? Yes.
You said 5 rules, that was only 4.
Rule number 5, when I move, you move.
This is who I think the original cast of Grey's Anatomy would vote for in the 2020 election. Meredith Grey is a huge feminist and would definitely vote for Elizabeth Warren. Christina Yang would definitely vote for Bernie Sanders. So I think Derek Shepherd probably voted for Trump in the first election, but would probably vote for Joe Biden in the second. Miranda Bailey was hard, but I think she'd vote for Warren or Bernie. Sorry, Izzy Stevens, but I think you'd vote for Trump. Callie Torres would probably vote for Bernie Sanders. I know for a fact that my man, George O'Malley, would vote for Bernie Sanders. I love you so much, Alex Krev, but you probably voted for Trump. So, Richard Weber was hard, but I think he'd vote for Pete or Bernie. Now, we all know that Preston Burke would vote for Donald Trump. I know he's not the original cast, but he would definitely vote for Trump, too.
You weren't on the plane, Callie! You weren't in the woods, and you did not Mark moaning in pain or hearing me scream in pain. You weren't there, and you keep acting like you.
I bet you wish you'd taken the stairs right about now.
Would you lie with me and just forget the world? Don't. And it went like, would you lie with me and just forget the
thing you wanna do is yeah, that didn't work out. So I decided to have a break from boys, and you'll never guess who I met. Tall, large, Henry VIII, supreme.
Talking about everyone's favorite show, Grey's Anatomy, and why characters left. I think Preston Burke is probably one of the most well-known reasons why he left, but he was fired for calling TR Knight George O'Malley a gay slur on set when arguing with Patrick Dempsey. Izzy got fired from the show as well. She was written out because of everything that happened with the Emmys and her taking herself out of the running because she felt that she didn't deserve an Emmy from the writing from Grey's Anatomy. And then she never showed up to the last day of shooting, and she was supposed to be killed off but never was. Obviously Lexi, she left the show because she wanted to spend more time with her family. Mark was killed off when Lexi left because they didn't want their love story to end, and they thought that was the best way to end it, by killing both of them. April and Arizona were written out of the show at the end of season 13 because they believed that their storyline had ended.
To the chorus. Come here, girl.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Come to the back.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
VIP.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Drinks on me.
Go ahead, be
Let me see
gone
what
with
you're
it.
twerking with.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Look at those hips.
Go ahead, be gone.
To the chorus. Come here, girl.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Come to the back.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
VIP.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Drinks on me.
Go ahead,
Let
be
me see
gone
what
with
you're
it.
twerking with.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Look at those hips.
Go ahead, be gone with
You
it.
make me smile.
Go ahead.
She's my person. If I murdered someone, she's the person I call to help me drag the corpse across the living room floor.
Okay, let's not forget my bestie. She's a bad bitch.
Right out. All right. Are you injured? I need to try. This is Carlson. Can you hear me?